Come here, let me tell you a secret. She's practically begging you to approach her. But if you're like 99% of men, you're completely blind to the signs that she's trying to give you. Signs like the double take, where she looks at you, looks away, then looks back at you again. Or the hair touching habit, where she just can't help but play with her hair when she looks at you. Or the orbiting, where she just keeps ending up where you are no matter how many times you move around. So stop being the guy who misses every green light. If you never want to miss the signs that women give you ever again, comment signs below and I'll send you a guide to your inbox that will help you do just that.
So I just watched this video of this single mom. Apparently she had needed help with taking her child down the stairs because she had a big ass stroller. So she went all the way down the stairs, propped her phone up to record, I guess, the men in the background that was not helping her carry the stroller down the stairs. Now from the video, it looks like she just propped the camera up, went up the stairs, got her baby, and then took the baby down the stairs and recorded the men in the background. So I went through her actual profile to see, like, is there a backstory behind it? She claims that she asked the men around her to help her, and they just looked at her strange. So in the background, you seen a security dude, and then you see another dude coming down the stairs. She did say that she had some type of, like, injuries or, like, something was wrong with her, so she wasn't able to carry the child up and down the stairs or whatever. But she did eventually get the child down the stairs. See, here's my problem with this. I don't understand why you thought that it was okay to record somebody because they did not want to help you. I know the security standing right there, he probably should have helped, but he decided that he did not want to help. But what we have to understand is nobody is obligated to help you with nothing. Even though we feel like they should help us, these people are not obligated to help you with nothing. Then as I'm looking at the comments, a lot of people are like, where's your baby daddy? Why your baby daddy ain't helping you with the stroller? And it could have been the baby daddy had something to do. We don't know whether or not the baby daddy's around or he is around. And I don't really make jokes about people not having baby daddy because shit, I don't got a baby daddy of my own. So, but the whole thing is, you should have just completely let it go. Them men were not obligated to help you with your child. Because the minute somebody go and grab your child, then it'll be another problem. So, baby, you did it on your own, and I give you your props for being able to do it by yourself, but how you went about it was wrong. You probably felt angry because they did not want to help you. And, baby, the men, they barely help as it is. So, I don't know why you expected them men to go and help you take that stroller down the stairs. Men don't help with shit nowadays. We live in a world where women are superheroes no matter what they're going through. It don't matter if you sick. It don't matter if you on your last bed. Baby, you still got to be a superwoman no matter what. But baby, the way she went up them stairs and came back down the stairs and looked at the phone, grabbed it, and walked off, I low-key was embarrassed because why did you do that?
So I saw this video the other day and I thought it was so funny because I related to it so much. There was a woman and she was out with her friends and she was like, someone better hit on me tonight. I'm sick of this. And I was like, ma'am, I feel you so much. Because I never get hit on in person. Like, I get a lot of messages online and stuff, and I'm single, so I'm on dating apps, but just like at the grocery store, men don't just come over and say hi, like, how are you doing? They don't do that anymore. And so when I do meet men, and I ask them, I tell them, like, I don't usually get hit on in person. Would you, if you saw me at the store or wherever, would you come talk to me? And sometimes they say yes, but a lot of times they say no. And it's usually for one of two reasons. The first reason is because they assume I'm not single, which, like, sir, I'm walking around here with a ring-free hand. Like, why are you over there assuming things? But the second reason is because they said that women find it too aggressive and they don't like it. And I'm like, who are these women? Like, all the women I know, the single women, they appreciate it when a man is respectful and they come over and say, hi, you look nice or whatever. Because if we're out and we're dressed up, we look nice because we made an effort. And we appreciate it when men or, hell, even women, a fellow female comes and tells you you look nice. So I'm trying to encourage you because I feel like men are scared of rejection, but let me tell you, the world is full of rejection. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try. And I will say that most women, they're not going to growl at you for telling them that they look nice or saying hi. I'm not saying none of them will, but let's be honest. If you say hi, you look nice to a woman, she growls at you, she did you a favor by showing you the crazy up front. Because that could be 6 months down the line and then you see that crazy monster. I'm just saying. I mean, she could just be having a bad day, but if she's going to be rude about you telling her she looks nice, she's probably not a nice person. So just leave that one be. But for the rest of us, we appreciate a respectful man coming over and saying hi. And if we show signs of not being interested, no sweat off your nose. Keep it moving. It's not that serious. But on the other hand, you guys could really connect and be on a date next week. So I say all that to say this. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you see that beautiful woman, go take your shot. Go take it. She's over there waiting for you to tell her how beautiful she looks tonight, okay? Go forth, be bold, and flirt. And come say hi. Say hi, wave, smile. It all works.
One writer posed a simple question to the nation in a recent article from the New York Times. She asks, "Men, where have you gone? Please come back."
Oh my God! Where are all the men?
So she made a call to all men, calling for them to return, because according to her, they are missing in daily life and in dating. Now, in her decades of dating, marriage, divorce, and then dating again, she says that she has noticed that men are retreating in mass, falling away from the dating scene and meeting their needs elsewhere. In her latest dating fail, she told the man that she was interested in him, but she was left on red, which brought her to this part of the story. He never replied. He still follows my Instagram stories, one of those small gestures of passive engagement that so many of us now mistake for closeness. It looks like interest, it feels like silence. There are thousands of Jameses, which is the guy. I have known dozens. The arc varies, but the undertow is familiar. What I won't entertain is directionless orbiting. That thing so many men seem to mistake for connection. The perpetual maybe. The emoji check-ins, the casual seeing where it goes without ever going anywhere. We call it a situationship. But mostly, it's avoidance, an abdication of ownership, a feeling of behavior of sex that isn't a means to an end, but is communion. Now, the one thing that I wanted to point out that she said is that she will not entertain directionless orbiting, which I think is very interesting and a great point. But one thing that as I heard that word about, they want direction, they want leadership, though she was not able to say it just like that. Because you know what following directions typically needs? A path, and typically requires a leader. But so many women don't allow men to lead anymore, or they don't want it.
I want leadership. Like, lead me. Lead me when I'm in the mood to be led.
Now, the author eventually made a call asking the men to return, which I want to read a couple of these parts because I just thought that this was an interesting way to end this. She's basically saying they've disappeared and she's sad and wants them back. But she never quite say why they left in the first place. She never figures that out. This is kind of the closing statements. You've retreated, not into malice, but into something softer and harder all at once. Avoidance, exhaustion, disrepair. Why are they avoiding? Why are they exhausted? Why are they in disrepair? Why? Maybe no one taught you how to stay. Maybe you tried once and it hurt. Maybe the world told you your role was to provide, to perform, to protect, and never to feel. No, it's not to perform, but it is to provide and to protect. I think men are okay with that. I would argue that's a good thing. But here's what's real. We never needed you to be perfect. We needed you to be with us. Not above, not muted, not masked, just with. And you can still come back. Not by becoming someone else, but by remembering what connection feels like when it's honest and slow, when it's earned and messy and sacred. So those are some of her closing points, and I honestly do think that they were written genuinely, and she really does mean that. But in the same breath, I have heard the echoes of toxic masculinity in the background of all of those well-meaning sentiments. She writes, not muted. But then what's mansplaining? Where they just want men to shut up because they're mansplaining. She also writes, we never needed you to be perfect. But then we have notes apps with an ick list 100 bullet points long. She says, we just needed you to be with us. But then what's the whole we don't need no man? I mean, time after time, these points fall on deaf ears considering what the feminists and what women everywhere are saying. One guy said, women got what they wanted. Turns out they don't want it after all. Yeah, they want men. They still want men. This tweet, though, is written from a woman, and it went viral, which is what got my attention on the story in the first place. And she said, when will everyone come to understand that it's us who have driven men away? For decades, society has disrespected and neglected them, insisting that they are unnecessary, while only prioritizing support for girls and women. Men have been marginalized, and now we are left wondering why so many men are choosing to disengage. If we want men to come back, we need to take responsibility and give them something worth coming back for. This article, and most people, don't seem to get that. The same girl also tweeted something the day before, and I wanted to read this as well. She said, in my opinion, most, if not all, societal issues can be traced back to the lack of a harmonious relationship between men and women. Building understanding, compassion, and collaboration between the sexes is essential for addressing all the challenges we face today. 100%. I mean, that is completely true. We desperately need a generation that values men as we do women, but highlights our differences and values those differences. We're uniquely designed for a reason. Our differences complement one another. So yes, the men need to come back, and the ladies need to welcome them when they return.
You know what's crazy? We've reached a point where women are now begging men to date them. The same women who once told us we weren't needed. They said, don't talk to women unless she talks first. They said, don't compliment her. Don't offer help. Don't even look too long. It's harassment. Well, now that men have listened and pulled back, suddenly it's a crisis? No thanks. We've learned that peace is better than constantly walking on eggshells just to be called a bad guy anyway. Men have realized something powerful. Staying silent and staying to themselves brings less drama and less stress. Society told men that every natural act of kindness or chivalry was toxic. Don't open her door. Don't offer your jacket. Don't pay the bill. Okay, men stopped. And now those same women are wondering why men don't approach anymore. You can't spend years painting men as villains and expect them to still play the hero. Even inside marriage, it's the same imbalance. Women want men to be traditional husbands, protect, provide, lead, but they don't want to be traditional wives in return. They want the benefits without the responsibilities. And when things go south, the system rewards them. The man loses his home, his kids, and his finances. Tell me, what smart man signs up for a deal where he can lose everything just for trying to build a family? Single men today aren't bitter. They're observant. They're watching what happens to their fathers, brothers, and friends. They see marriages crumble, courts favor women, and men walking away with nothing but stress and regret. So they make a different choice. Stay single, focus on themselves, and avoid the emotional and financial chaos that relationships have become. Until women start holding themselves accountable, stop blaming men, and actually bring peace and value back into relationships, men will keep walking away. We're not hiding. We're healing. We're learning that solitude is safer than sacrifice with no reward. And until that changes, men won't be coming back anytime soon.
I have only been approached by a man in the wild one time, and let me tell you, it shook me to my core. And I haven't stopped thinking about it. This was a few years ago. I walk into a bar with a friend, and a guy sitting at the bar turned, looked at me, and gave me the "I'm gonna talk to you" vibes. I am the world's worst flirter. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how bad I am at flirting. And so I froze like a deer in the headlights, like literally frozen. I walk up to the bar to order my drink, okay? And this man walks straight up to me and says, "Hello, my name is Jim." Luckily, my friend stepped in and was like, "Hi, this is Katerina. She's so great," because I was frozen. We played some eyeball tennis back and forth in the bar for like an hour. And he came up to me and bought me and my friend a drink and got my number and was so respectful. And I was actually in complete shock because I didn't know this happened in real life. Granted, this happened to me 2 years ago and it was the only time it's ever happened to me. But men, this is the power of approaching a woman in the wild, because I truly have not gotten him out of my mind.
So I saw this video where a woman said, "We need to bring back talking to strangers in public." She was saying that one small moment of interaction can feel meaningful, and that men should start approaching women again. But let's be honest, that sounds nice in theory, but in reality, it's a trap. Because in today's world, a simple hello can be twisted into harassment depending on how the woman feels in that moment. Men have learned the hard way that approaching women in 2025 is like playing Russian roulette with your reputation. You never know when a harmless introduction could cost you your job, your peace, or your dignity. One wrong look, one misunderstood compliment, and suddenly you're labeled creepy, weird, or unsafe. The same action that gets praised when an attractive man does it gets condemned when an average guy tries it. That double standard is the problem. It's not that men have stopped wanting to connect. It's that women have made it too risky to try. You can't say, "I miss men being confident and bold," while also running to social media to expose a guy who simply said hi. You can't crave attention and then shame the men who give it to you. That inconsistency is why men choose silence over stress. Now men observe, they watch, they listen, but they don't act. Not because they hate women, but because they value peace. The fear of being recorded, posted online, or humiliated in public outweighs any desire to approach. Men have adapted to survive in a world where being respectful still isn't enough if the woman decides she's uncomfortable. Until women start creating an environment where men feel safe to be genuine again, nothing will change. You can't rebuild trust with words. You do it through actions and accountability. So no, men aren't cowards. They're cautious. And honestly, in this generation, that's the smartest move a man can make.
If you go up to random girls in public and you're like, hey, you're beautiful, can I take you on a date? Usually that makes girls really uncomfortable and it comes across as desperate, lacking social skills, and also makes us wonder how many other girls you're doing that to. And obviously it's flattering and I'd never take it the wrong way. I just think it's embarrassing to the person that's doing that, if that makes sense. And you should use basic social skills when you're approaching women. So what that means is gauging if they're attracted to you or not. Are they staring at you? Are they making eye contact with you? Are they smiling at you? And obviously this isn't going to be the case in most situations because I think people in general just lack social skills a lot nowadays, including myself. So in that case, you go up to them and you say, hey, like, I love your shoes. Hey, do you know a good coffee shop around here? Start a friendly conversation. Don't lead with commenting on their appearance or asking them out. And then from there, you can gauge if they're attracted to you or not. So are they making eye contact with you? Are their pupils dilating? Are they smiling? Are they continuing the conversation? And if they are, then you can ask for their number and like text them for a bit and then ask them out. Like that's how you should talk to girls in public. And I say this on behalf of all women.
I came across this video of a woman saying, there's nothing wrong with approaching girls in public. Men are just doing it wrong. And honestly, that's funny to me. Because for years now, women have been the loudest voices saying, don't approach me. Don't talk to me. Don't make me uncomfortable. So which is it? You can't tell men they're creepy for saying hello one day, and then complain that men don't approach any more the next. Men didn't stop approaching because they forgot how. They stopped because they got tired of being shamed for it. Every time a man tries to be polite, someone's ready to pull out a phone and record him for content. Every time a guy shows interest, he's instantly judged on his looks, his tone, or even his confidence. The truth is, if the guy is attractive, it's cute. But if he's not your type, suddenly it's harassment. That's the double standard nobody wants to admit. And then you have women trying to teach men how to approach. But let's be real. You don't ask the fish how to catch a fish. You ask the fisherman. Men know what it's like to approach with respect and still get humiliated. Women don't understand that fear. They've never been the ones risking embarrassment or public shame just for trying to start a genuine conversation. Now men are pulled back, not because they've lost interest, but because they've learned to protect themselves. No man wants to end up on TikTok being labeled weird for something innocent. It's safer to keep your distance than to gamble your reputation for a stranger who might twist the story for views or validation. If women really want men to start approaching again, they need to start changing their attitudes first. Stop treating every man like a threat. Stop embarrassing men who simply show interest. Respect goes both ways. Until that happens, men will keep watching from a distance. Not because they don't care, but because they've learned that peace is better than public humiliation.
Can we please stop pretending like the reason you don't approach women is because you're scared you'll be accused of sexual harassment? That's not going to happen. You know that's not going to happen. If you approach anybody with kindness and respect, the worst they can say is no. The reason you don't want to approach women is because you're a sissy. And that's the fundamental issue. Stop trying to make it some other situation that has to do with society and culture and feminism, dude. No. Go say hi to a girl. Be nice about it. Whatever. Learn to get a little bit of zhuzh. I don't want to use the word riz. I'm doing everything to avoid using that word. You have to get better at socializing and talking to strangers if it is your goal to obtain a girlfriend via cold open. Now, you can also just hang out with mutual friends, dude. It doesn't have to be like some you don't have to watch a pickup artist and figure out how to do it. Be that guy that's always making small talk with people in a line. Be that person. You can become that person if you would like to interact with women more. Stop pretending it's like culture or something, dude. The reason you don't want to talk to women in public is because you're a sissy and you're nervous and you spend too much time on your phone. We'll talk to other people all the time. Strangers talk to people all the time. Ever met one of those social people that just starts making a friend everywhere they go? Be that guy if you want to be that guy. Stop.
This clip of a woman saying, Just be nice and talk to girls. Nobody's stopping you but yourself. And I had to laugh, because the irony is wild. For years, men have been told not to talk to women. Not at work, not at the gym, not in bars, not at coffee shops. Basically not anywhere on planet Earth. Every time men try to be social or friendly, they were told it's weird, creepy, or uncomfortable. So now that men actually listened, suddenly it's our fault for being distant? Women created the very environment they're now complaining about. You can't tell men to leave us alone, stop hitting on us, and respect our space, then turn around and wonder why men don't approach anymore. Men didn't just wake up one day and stop trying. We were trained to step back, to protect ourselves from accusations and drama. Society taught us that silence is safer than being misunderstood. Now every interaction feels like a trap. If a man compliments a woman, he's objectifying her. If he's quiet, he's cold or awkward. There's no winning anymore. Women want attention, but only from men they already approve of. And that's the problem. Men aren't mind readers. How are they supposed to know who's allowed to approach and who's not? That confusion is exactly why men just don't bother anymore. So when women say, nobody's stopping you, that's not true. Women did stop men, through ridicule, through labels, and through social shaming. Every time a woman posted a video of a guy just existing near her, it sent a message to men everywhere. Don't even try. And now the dating scene is cold, disconnected, and filled with resentment, all because men were told to back off. If women truly want genuine connection again, they have to undo the fear they built. Stop treating every man like a threat. Stop assuming the worst every time a guy says hello. You can't have connection without trust, and right now, men don't feel safe trying anymore. So no, it's not that men are scared. It's that women made it dangerous to care.
Okay, I don't give a fuck if you met your boyfriend on Hinge, Tinder, whatever. I don't care what happens on Hinge, Tinder for you. If you're a woman and you're on dating apps, you need to realize that most men, like 99% of them, are using it as free sex work. They're using it as a way to just get free punani all the time, no matter what, because they can lie to you and say they want a relationship and go on like 5 dates with you without actually having sex with you. But once they get into your pants, they're not going to take you seriously. I've had this conversation with friends before, and like my friend has said, if they stop talking to me after I have sex with them, then they weren't my soulmate in the first place. And it's like, yeah, no shit, but you're still giving these random men on the internet access to your body when you know that most men on there are just going to use you. You think men are taking dating apps seriously? Like, come on. At this pivotal point in society with red pill culture and men saying that feminism is terrible, you think that men are on there taking us seriously? I'm telling you guys this from my own experience, and I don't even mean that I've used these apps, because I have, but like I've used them many, many, many years ago. I have not been on a dating app in about 4 years now. I'm saying like I've seen my friends go through this. I've seen even like my own boy cousins that I'm supposed to be so loyal to and like love no matter what. I've seen my own male cousins do this shit where they like get into a situationship with a woman and just use her for sex because they're fucking losers. And when I confronted my cousin about it, he was like, well, she's a grown adult. She can end it when she wants, but like whatever. And it's like, okay, so you're manipulating a grown adult because you know that she's desperate and she really likes you a lot. She loves you. But your response is, well, she's a grown adult. She can handle it. You're a fucking loser and a piece of shit. And most men on dating apps are doing this. They're manipulating, breadcrumbing, and doing whatever else with women on there because they're bored. They just want sex whenever they can get it. And that's the issue. A lot of them won't admit it either, but that's predatory behavior. They're sexual predators for using women like that. Because they know a lot of these women are desperate. They do want boyfriends. They do want husbands. They want kids. They whatever. Men prey off of women's vulnerability. And this is another really huge way at this point in society that they've been doing it lately is on dating apps and doing it through like situationships because they don't actually want girlfriends. They just, when they're bored, want somebody to be able to like be vulnerable with them and use for sex, and then that's it. Then they dispose of you when they're done. This isn't me being dramatic. I'm genuinely speaking from my own experience in my personal relationships with men, my relationships with my fucking family members that are men, and the women in my life, my friends and everybody else that I know that have experienced this shit with men. This is what they do. So get the fuck off the apps, please.
Women are saying men use dating apps and situationships to take advantage of their emotions. But what they refuse to admit is that they designed the very system they're now blaming. They build a culture where attention means more than intention, where swipes replace real conversations, and where drama is more exciting than loyalty. Men simply adjusted to the environment women created. For years, women said they didn't want commitment. They wanted fun, freedom, and options. So men stopped chasing love and started matching energy. When women wanted validation, men gave it. When women wanted casual, men agreed. Now that the outcome doesn't feel good anymore, suddenly it's men's fault? Situationships didn't appear out of nowhere. They grew out of a world where women reward charm over character and temporary thrills over long-term peace. Men aren't exploiting vulnerability. They're surviving in a dating scene where effort gets ignored and honesty gets punished. You can't keep choosing chaos and then complain about getting burned. Every time women complain that men only want physical connection, they ignore the fact that they're the ones setting those standards. The same women who reject good men for being too nice are the ones cry about players later. Respect is a two-way street, and modern dating has become one-sided. Driven by attention, not intention. Men have simply learned to stop playing the losing game. They've learned that peace, purpose, and self-control bring more fulfillment than chasing validation. The system women built is now working against them, and the only way things change is when actions match the words, not when blame replaces accountability.
So one of our last posts asked a question to the ladies: what are some of the social cues that are being given to let a man know that you are approachable or you're interested? Many women are on here saying, I give eye contact and a smile, right? But then, guys, y'all got on here and said, no, that's not it. That's not how this works. You can't, you can't, guys, you can't tell the women that what they're doing to tell you that they're approachable is not right if it's what they doing. That's like when guys say, I like natural hair, natural bodies, natural all these things, and then the women turns around and say, no, you don't. You like the BBLs and all of this other stuff. You can't just say that, no, that's not it. You can say that that's not working for me.
I think what the men were saying was, you got to do more than that. That's what I was getting from them.
That's not what I took from that.
And I'm not saying that they're right or they're wrong. But the thing is, eye contact and smiling, that's kind of something you do anyway.
Flirty smile.
Do you not? But is it a flirty smile? Because they didn't say that we're giving flirty smiles. We are giving eye contact and a smile, and some just said eye contact. But see, one of the comments said that they would talk to the man and do all these things, and I think that's what a lot of the men were saying. You know what I'm saying? Just speak at least. You know, if you speak, because I think a lot of men, and they're probably going to disagree with me about this, but I think a lot of men suffer from self-esteem issues. A lot of men, I don't think that they think that they're going to be good enough just themselves to go up to a woman and talk to her without a surefire way to know that you are giving him a cue that it is okay for him to be able to come and talk to you. And that can be from a number of different things. Could be fear, you know what I'm saying? Could just be whatever you see on the internet. And we've said this before, but in these situations, I think, so obviously I'm married, right? So I'm not even looking at anything like that. But my thing is, back in the day, if it was me, a dude like me would have been like, I don't think you looking at me. I think you looking at somebody next to me, behind me, or even if you did come up and speak, dude like me would think it's a scam. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of dudes probably fall into that type of category, because the question becomes, now, as the man, should I think that every woman that looks at me wants to talk to me if she is giving a nice nod or a smile, or she looks my way? I mean, what if she's just being nice?
No, because I smile
exactly
and make eye contact with everyone and say hi. But there is the smile and the eye contact. There is more behind it. There's a flirtiness in it, typically.
What is it? Now I've seen.
And then there's the look and look away, and y'all keep catching each other kind of thing. Like there's more science behind it than just smile, how you doing, good morning kind of deal.
What's the science?
I don't know what the science is. I just use science. That was just the word that popped into my head.
I think because then the question becomes, let's say you're trying to make eye contact and you think he's making eye contact with you, but he's actually looking past you. He's not even paying any attention to you. And it's not that he doesn't find you attractive or he wouldn't find you attractive. He's just not paying attention. What if he's got his mind on something else? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I stand by women. There's nothing wrong with you approaching the dude. What I would like to know is for the women who are not going to approach a dude and for the men who would prefer to do the approaching, what is it that we're looking for? Men, what are you looking for to know that the window is open?
The men have expressed that, though. They're saying that starting a conversation. If you're out as a woman and there's a guy that you find attractive, right, and you just spark up a random conversation and you're giving an eye contact and you're smiling.
Is that not considered approaching, though?
Who, the woman?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm talking to the men who want to initiate.
Yeah, I guess you would look at it like that. But see, in my mind, when I think about approaching, I think about it in a way where the man is going there solely to talk to the woman and get her number. Because most of the time, the men, they don't have the art of the approach or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They don't go in there and start talking about random stuff. They go in there, hey, you look very beautiful. You look very nice. I would like to take you out. Can I have your phone number? That's how men are approaching women. But I don't think, let's say you're in the store and the man is walking around the store and I don't know, he has some type of food in his hand and a woman walks up to him and sparks up a conversation about, hey, so where did you get that? Blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't see that as necessarily being an approach because in that particular situation, the man still doesn't really know if she's doing that to ask a genuine question because she really want to know where you got this tofu from.
Because I would ask.
See? And you married, and then what if he takes that? He's just like, "Hey, can I get your number? You know, you stopped me."
Just want
you want
to know where you got your apples from.
You see, it's a bunch of confusion, and then you have a lot of people in the comments, like a few men, are just like, man, just go up and talk to her. You'll know in a few minutes whether or not she like you, or men are weak because they won't approach women. I mean, you call it whatever you want to. Signals get crossed all the time, though.
Absolutely.
That's
why we just sparking the conversation. This is just an open dialogue.
Well, it's an open dialogue, but the problem is a lot of people that need to be answering this question are looking at this video and passing it by and not answering the question.
Women are now telling each other to start giving men better signals. Things like eye contact and a smile. Basically saying that's their way of shooting their shot. But here's the funny part. Men have been doing that forever. And they got labeled thirsty, creepy, or desperate for it. When women finally start doing the same, they realize how uncomfortable rejection actually feels. Approaching isn't the issue. It's how women respond when things don't go their way. Men have faced rejection their entire lives. We're used to it. We take the no, we move on, and we keep it pushing. But when women get turned down, suddenly it's disrespect, ego bruise, or he must be intimidated. No. He's just not interested, and that's okay. Not everyone you like is going to like you back. The truth most women don't want to admit is that they've never had to deal with rejection at scale. They've always been the ones being chased, not the ones doing the chasing. So the moment that energy flips, it becomes a shock. They're finally realizing what men have felt for generations. The pressure, the nerves, and the sting of hearing no. This is why so many women avoid direct approaches. They'll drop hints, give looks, or hope a man reads their mind, because taking a straightforward step feels too risky. Men don't have that luxury. We've had to learn courage through rejection. That's what separates confidence from entitlement. You can't claim to be bold if you can't handle being turned down. So before women start giving advice about better signals, they should first learn how to handle rejection with grace. Smile, move on, and respect the answer. That's what real maturity looks like. If you want equality in dating, it comes with equality in rejection too. Don't just copy men's moves. Learn their discipline. That's what makes the difference between attention-seeking and genuine effort. And that's just the truth. Men have dealt with rejection, judgment, and pressure for years, and we adapted. Now that the roles are flipping, it's time women learn that same lesson. Dating shouldn't be about ego. It should be about honesty and respect. If you enjoyed this discussion, I appreciate you for sticking around till the end. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from both the men and the women on this one. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. As always, thank you for your support. You already know, this conversation isn't about hate, it's about truth. See you in the next one.